Have you ever thought about installing your own automatic drip irrigation system in your garden? Well, I have. Drip irrigation systems save you time, money, and water. Best of all, it gives your plants the right amount of water at the right time. Today, I'm installing a drip irrigation system throughout my whole main garden, and I brought in an expert to show me how. We're gonna set up everything from the faucet first because we have to start there. So we've got our timer, and then we've got our filter.
Okay, got the timer which goes onto the manifold. First, we attach the filter by hand tightening it onto the timer. Okay, next we're gonna thread on the regulator.
And we've got this
Easy lock
fitting.
Now we thread the whole manifold onto the four-way splitter.
We are ready to attach our mainline tubing.
Let's get the tubing out. There you are.
So on our end, we want to make sure that there's just a perfectly flush cut.
That's right. And it looks like it's a little off here, so then we'll take a nice square cut with the pruners. Now we're ready to attach it to the Easy Lock fitting.
All right, we're going to do the left side, so that's this one.
The best way to do it is to line this tubing up. Okay, you've got the tubing. We just wiggle it on to this little nipple that sticks out, and then we turn the Easy Lock fitting. It's locked on.
Yay! All right, so we're gonna just start rolling it out now?
Now we can roll out the tubing right along the base of the raised bed. Okay, well, the next thing we need to do with the main line is to take it and cut it at the appropriate place so that we can attach a 90-degree fitting and come underneath these tiles and across the pathway. So I take my pruners, make a nice clean square cut, get an Easy Lock elbow. Next thing we need to do is come back with the claw end of the hammer, and we need to first lightly scrape a line right underneath the tubing to go between the pavers that you have in your pathway.
This is so easy to do it this way.
Now at this point, we can grab one of our U-shaped hold downs to hold the tubing in place at the beginning where it enters the pathway. Okay, good job.
Thank you. You can just cover this back up with soil. Excellent. All right, so now we are gonna set up the main line for the right side of the garden.
Okay.
I think I'm getting the hang of this. It's gonna be nice and invisible.
At this point, I think we ought to cut the tubing when we run into this first raised bed.
Excellent. So now we're gonna put in our elbow.
That's right.
We're gonna attach this here because we want to basically elbow it around, and if we kinked it, then it's not going to run. So you really do have to put the elbows in.
Yeah, you have to be somewhat careful at this step.
So we're going to put one more elbow in?
We're going to put one more here at the corner of the bed, and then go all the way down along the rest of the garden, the 5 more beds.
Let's keep going.
All right, I'm ready to finish this job up.
So now we just have to cut the end of the line and just put an end cap on it, right?
That's right.
Excellent. So we're just gonna go back through and we're just gonna attach the main line to these beds. Then we're gonna get to the fun part, which is our drip irrigation.
I'm ready to water.
All right. So you need some quarter-inch solid
tubing to go up the side of the bed. Okay, we're gonna measure the distance it takes to go from the main line up the side of the bed, and then cut the quarter-inch tubing and put a transfer barb onto the end of the quarter-inch tubing. Okay, so we simply put it in the end and push it in like that. Then we're going to take our punch and we're going to make a hole in the main line.
All right, so you need this, right?
I've got our key punch that I'm going to use to make a hole in the mainline tubing. We're in a little tight spot over here. It's the only punch that will do the job. And then simply push the transfer barb into the 1/2-inch tubing.
So now we need our elbow, right?
We need our 1/4-inch elbow. Put it into the 1/4-inch tubing, and it will look something like that.
All right, and here are these guys.
So we're going to take this 1/4-inch clamp, and we're going to tap it into the side of the bed. Put one right over here, and one after we attach a few, maybe 6 inches more of this solid 1/4-inch tubing.
Okay.
Now to secure it in place, we'll take another 1/4-inch clamp and give it a few taps with the hammer. And we're good right there.
Woo! Okay, what do we do next?
Next, we're going to put our very flow valve, which will control the water flow going out down the end of the bed and back in this direction.
Got the drip line here. Now, can you let me know what is the pattern that we're gonna basically lay this drip line out?
Well, it's gonna be really simple. We're gonna have 4 straight lines running down this bed with about 1 foot separating each line.
Excellent. So let me roll some out.
And we have our 3-inch pull downs that are gonna keep this soaker drip line on the dirt in your bed. We put them about every 3 feet. And then you're going to make a 1/2 circle turn and go back toward the other end of the bed. We need to cut right here. And then we're going to put an end cap inside of this 1/4-inch tubing. And you take this little plug, you put it inside the end of the tubing, and you push. Okay, now we go back, and with these little staples that we have, we secure the tubing all along the way.
All right, so we're installing 2 soaker drip lines into this one raised bed. Why is that?
Well, your beds are about 8 feet long. Soaker drip line, which has emitters every 6 inches, only has enough water in it to go about 15 to 20 feet.
So we've just run it down once and then run it back up, and now we're attaching a second one, which we're gonna run down and then back up, and then we'll have our 4 rows.
Right, and that will control the other half of your garden bed.
Excellent. Only 11 more to go.
Okay, good job.
Thanks.